What innocent question that someone asked you crushed you a little. My mom accidentally called me after about 10 years of not talking. I answered all ready for a serious conversation. When I answered, she was like, wait, who's this? I say, hey mom, it's Fraggle Rocks. Her reply is, what hurt? Fraggle Rocks who? Why are you calling me mom? She was so drunk/high she didn't recognize her own daughter's name. Fuck age. I'm so sorry. That's shitty. A friend looked at me and said, I know we've talked about it before, but how did you break your nose? I've never broken my nose, this is just how it looks. Wow. Owen Wilson. I teach first grade and was talking about how I've been married for 5 years. One student asked, how could you not have a baby by now? Not wanting to explain multiple miscarriages and IVF to a classroom of 6-year-olds, I said, being around all of you makes my heart so full that I don't think I have room in my heart for a baby. They all smiled. I smiled too. I've learned from my experience to never ask couples when/if they want to have a family. Fucking hurts. I went to get a haircut for my fiance's funeral. It was Friday. He had died on today. My stylist, all bubbly, said, it's been a while. The last time I saw you, you were just about to move in with your boyfriend. How's it going? The word stuck, and I kind of rasped it out. Honestly though, her reaction was so wonderful. She was behind me, and just put her hands firmly on my shoulders, and looked me in the eyes in the mirror. No shock, no stupid platitudes. Just silent, genuine empathy. The rest of the haircut was pretty quiet, but she did everything so, like, lovingly, and didn't make a big deal out of it when I cried a little. That is a beautiful, touching story. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for saying that, friend. When will you get better, so you can play with us? My niece, who was too young to understand what disabled meant. She's older now, and understands I will never get better, and we have adapted playtime to do things I can handle as well. But that broke my heart. A waiter asked me if my wife was pregnant once. She was just bloated from chemo side effects. Crushed me. So glad she didn't hear. She couldn't have had kids and she passed 2 years back. What's on her face? Mom, little girl. I used to be a cashier and had terrible acne at the time. Rough night last night. Usually asked with a big smile. I was asked that all the time when I was younger because I had a really obvious tremor. Thing is, I did not drink or do drugs at all, and I had no idea what was wrong with me. I was eventually diagnosed with Graves' disease and treated for it, but I still have a bit of a tremor. I could never imagine getting cancer at such a young age. How are you this strong/brave/ do you stay so positive? I've stopped counting the amount of people, especially working at the hospital. I'd expect a bit more sensitivity from them that have asked me that. Yes, I'm mid-20s, but it's not a choice that I'm staying strong. It's fucking survival. Every time someone asks me that, it feels like getting punched. No questions or advice here, just a heartfelt damn. Non-verbal. But the nurse at the flu shot station seemed unsure whether to give me the under 65 or over 65 consent form. If I'm going to be mistaken for being that much older than my actual age, at least it should be in the context of me getting a senior discount. My grandma's hair has been stark white since she was 23, and she has been getting offered senior discounts since she was about 30. She used to get offended, but now sees it as a sorta life hack. She still hasn't hit 65. Your grandmother still isn't 65. Speaking of offhanded comments that hurt your soul a little, my parents are over 65. I'm always a little shocked to realize how old I'm getting. I got asked why I wouldn't stand up straight for a photo. I have kyphosis, and I'm standing up as straight as I can. Why don't you ever go out? Well, because I don't have anyone to go out with. Damn. Go out anyway. It's nice outside. The fall colors are starting to come in. Specialist appointment, and they did the normal thing of checking contact details. They asked if the contact number and details for my wife were still correct. I started crying. My wife passed away this time 12 months ago. Surprising how much one simple question asked in total innocence can bring you to your knees. I hope you're doing better. I had no friends in summer school, and a girl asked me if I had any friends. Like straight up. Do you have any friends? Then became friends with me, but still. Did she have any friends? Yeah, she did, but I didn't. I literally didn't know what to say, since I was so shocked that someone would ask that. She sounds like she recognized your loneliness and tried to reach out. That's a good person. I worked in retail when I was younger and people would always be like, oh, do you have any ideas for Father's Day? What did you get your dad? My dad committed suicide when I was 16. They had no way of knowing that, but damn if it didn't hurt. So when are you going back for your master's degree? I was so proud of getting my bachelor's and had no intention of going back because how rough school was for me. When I was 13 my mom got a divorce from a man who I can only refer to as a step monster. I worked all summer to save up money since we didn't have a lot and I was worried we wouldn't have enough to pay the bills. I ended up having a few dollars left over and wanted to buy my mom a gift and she mentioned she needed a new watch for her birthday. I went to the jeweler and got a $100 gold Citizen Evo Drive watch. It was functional and it looked really nice. When I gave it to her, her first response was thanks honey. Did it come in silver? I was crushed. Insult to injury. She started dating a guy around the same time and he bought her a crappy silver watch. She ended up wearing his over mine 18 years later and it still hurts when I think about it. AWW as a mom I think what you did was so beautiful and I'm sorry your expectations weren't met. I love that you did that for your mom and if I was your mom I would treasure that watch for the rest of my life. Hopefully one day your mom's eyes will open and she'll see that her children are the most important, most special people on earth. You're a good egg. Me too. I would have treasured that. That's huge and I'm sorry that happened to you. Not a question, but my 8-year-old niece once remarked you don't laugh anymore. My nephew once asked me Uncle Fusrona son, why do you look so sad like damn kid? Why do you work in a factory when you have an honors degree in physics? Because the scientists won't let me until I have 20 years of experience. Karen. My recently divorced ex and I worked at the same place. Divorce was not my idea, but he'd found someone new and I was heartbroken. He ended up quitting at her insistence. 6 months after the divorce was final, a coworker asked how ex-husband was doing. Hadn't seen him since he quit yada yada. Behind my back another coworker was trying to wave first coworker off, spent the rest of the shift crying on and off. Apparently coworker #1 was oblivious and didn't know we'd divorced, just thought ex had quit. That's a sucker punch. Hope you're doing well now. There's always fish in the sea. Take your time. You'll find much better fish or go vegetarian. How are you handling everything? My notary public who also happens to be my boss's boss while notarizing my divorce paperwork. Completing a divorce packet with no help from an attorney can be a real pain in the ass. But at least it kept me focused on the bureaucratic bullshit nonsense part of it, rather than the fact that my 9-year marriage was ending. Turned out that, as soon as someone asked me sincerely how I was doing, the answer was not at all well. I went back to my desk and had a panic attack. She gets half of that panic attack, you know? Well may I wish. When are you going to finish your thesis? 1 apple a day keeps the doctor proctor away. Good luck, buddy. What do you see when you look in the mirror each morning? My friend was having some body issues and she asked me this question. Since I was one of the most confident people she knew, she learned maybe a bit too much that day. How did you respond, if you don't mind me asking? I'm shaking hands with Dumbledore. I've won the house cup. He lies. Mom asked me, who are you, when I visited her recently. She has dementia. Mill, who has known me my entire life, recently asked me to remind her what your name is again. Alzheimer's. Last week, my son's therapist asked me how I was holding up with everything that has been happening, and if I was remembering to take time to care for myself while I was working on helping my son. I imagine she was thinking I would just give her my usual, "Oh, I'm plugging along" response. Instead, I broke down and started sobbing and word vomited how bad shit is and how hard a time I'm having and what a selfish piece of shit I feel like for having the audacity to feel so bad when my son is having such a hard time. Not my best moment. Yes, your son is having a hard time, but you have feelings and you have a life too. So don't feel bad that you're not feeling well. It's okay. I hope things get better for you and your son. Thanks. I hope so. How's your brother doing? Haven't seen him in a little while. He passed away 2 years ago. That wasn't very fun. There's an asshole in my neighborhood that asks about my deceased father sometimes. I really hope that man has dementia. Do you have dementia? I don't know. Are you okay? You seems a little off. I've been diagnosed with chronic depression and paranoia disorders for years, and I thought I was doing a decent job hiding it from all my friends. But apparently it wasn't good enough, I guess. It's okay to be depressed. The more people that know, the less you have to hide. Someone once asked me, don't you want to be a mom? Yes, I do. But as I'm single, over 40 and not rich, that's probably not going to happen, and it devastated me. I had to say yes, I'd love that, and then excuse myself to go home and cry. Are you me? I hate that this is a small talk question. Fuck off with your intrusive questions. Someone jokingly asked me if I was high because my eyes were red. I had just been diagnosed with an eye disease and told I would go blind before 50. My eyes were red from my medicated eye drops and partially from crying. I was only 16 and having a hard time coming to terms with it. When I surprised my GF with a gift, I told her I got a gift for her. I gave it to her, and later she asked when she was gonna get a gift. No. Yeah. Kinda sucked pretty hard, my friend. What was the gift? A necklace.